I don't even know if I can be serious on this one. I really should be, but this is so stupid. This is so stupid that it's going to be pretty difficult to just keep a straight face during this whole thing. Let me just ask everyone a question really quick and see if everybody's response is the same as this woman we're about to talk about. If you're having a lot of crime at your local Walgreens, does it make sense in order to stop the crime to just ban all of the law-abiding shoppers? Okay guys, because we're having a big crime problem, everyone who's just going in here to shop, maybe get some deodorant or something, you're not allowed to go in. Only the people who are stealing our shit are allowed to go in, okay? No, it would make sense to probably up security, maybe put a bigger police presence in the area, because people who don't commit crimes, they're not a problem. Like ma'am, they're not a problem. Now, the person we're talking about here is the governor of New Mexico. And you probably have heard of this before, but I just wanted to share a few points. She decided the other day that she was going to randomly pull tyranny out of her ass and say, you know what, that's a good idea. There's so much crime in this state that we're just gonna not go harder on the criminals, but what we're going to do is we're just going to take away the Second Amendment for 30 days. Look, if that's not stupid enough, let me ask you, ma'am, what happens after the 30 days? Like, if this was a problem, it would be the same as if you're taking away a drug addict's drugs for 30 days. If you're not addressing the underlying problem, what do you think they're going to do on the 31st day? Time to shoot up! I honestly really think there should be a new, requirement for every politician with any power in this country that you have a psychologist on staff, a part of every single decision you make. Because look, y'all don't understand how people work. You really don't. Does your coffee suck? That's better. Blackout Coffee, the official coffee of heavy duty country. Why? First off, it's amazing coffee. Two, they actually support our troops. For every bag sold, 2 cups of coffee go to our troops overseas. And 3, they have non-negotiable American values that all of us here share. So there's gonna be a discount link below the video. Go grab you some. This is so bad that even CNN is up your ass.
You bring up the Bruin case. The Supreme Court last year, let me just ask you this, because the Supreme Court last year totally changed what we're allowed to do, what you're allowed to do. And they said, unless you can base it in the history and tradition, you don't have grounds to do something like this. The New Mexico Constitution, I looked last night, Article 2, Section 6 says this, quote, no law shall abridge the right of citizens to keep and bear arms for security and defense. No municipality or county shall regulate in any way any incident of the right to keep and bear arms. Are you not in violation of both the U.S. Constitution and your state's Constitution?
I don't believe that we are.
She just threw the Constitution in your face and you said, well, no, I don't know. We're trying it. You don't try out tyranny. It's not like a skirt. It's not like a new handgun that you're checking out at a range. That's either who you are or not. There is a very fine line between freedom and tyranny. If you want to be like Hitler and just whatever you say goes, and you can just rip our Constitution in half and say, oh, well, 30 days, it's only 30 days. Well, here's what the people in New Mexico think about that.
She thinks she has the right to take away my freedom to protect my community. I don't think so. This will not stand. We will not comply.
Here is what the sheriff thinks of your BS.
The Bernalillo County Sheriff's Office will not enforce this segment of the order. While I understand the urgency, the temporary ban challenges the foundations of our Constitution, but most importantly, it is unconstitutional.
Even David Hogg, one of the biggest gun controllers in the world, is calling you out about it. Even your staff at your roundtable meeting is calling you out about it.
But your point is valid.
You took an oath to the Constitution. Isn't it unconstitutional to say you cannot exercise your carrying license?
With one exception, and that is if there's an emergency, and I've declared an emergency for a temporary amount of time, I can invoke additional powers. No constitutional right in my view, including my oath, is intended to be absolute.
Who do you know that supports this, ma'am? You in bed with your husband and he's like, well, I support you with whatever you want to do, baby, as long as you don't take my guns. Like, who else is supporting you on this? Ma'am, if I can just tell you how this is going to go. Nothing is going to change, except you're going to get more people pissed off at you. The police are not going to enforce this. They know better than that. Just because someone gets a wild hair of tyranny up their ass doesn't mean everyone needs to be a dumbass. You get that, right? Folks, here's the problem with this, and I know this woman did nothing. I mean, no one cares. If you're worried about carrying a gun in New Mexico at this point during this 30 days, carry a little pocket-sized Constitution in your pocket. They can't do this. This isn't some whoop-de-doo, well, you know, we don't know what else to do with the crime. How about hire more police? How about hire more security? How about you have a big discussion, right? I'm gonna teach you something here. I don't even know your name, Governor, and I don't really care to learn it, but I'm going to teach you something. Instead of this whole thing, why don't you go on TV tomorrow and say, look, guys, I fucked up, had too many whiskeys the night before. What I meant to say is if you commit crimes, violent crimes with guns, we are going to be dramatically harder on the punishment. If you go up to an old woman, hold her at gunpoint, and take her purse, I hope somebody is there to put a bullet in your head. That's what you should be saying on your grandstand. Not, well, if you're a upstanding citizen, your rights are fucked for the next 30 days. So enjoy that. Hopefully you can take a vacation to somewhere where it's not just a tyrannical joke. Y'all, here's the real problem with this. Someone actually got this idea in their head and put it into action. This is not going to be the first and only time this happens. I imagine California is going to try this, New York. Pretty much every liberal place on the planet is going to try something like this. Now, all this being said, if this didn't surprise you enough, there was one thing said at this woman's nights of the roundtable meeting or book club or whatever they do in this room, besides come up with tyrannical ideas. And this comment was so spot on, I'd just like to give this person a imaginary high five right now. But listen to what this person said and listen to this jackass of a woman's response.
Madam Governor, do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque on the streets for 30 days?
No.
So what the f are we doing? Oh my God. I don't understand politicians and people in power. If you don't think this is going to help the crime problem, what the fuck are you doing? What is going through your skull when you're coming up with this? All right, well, we're just going to take the rights. I can't even keep a straight face on this. We're just going to get rid of the rights of, I don't know, people for 30 days, but criminals? No, it won't affect them. You're stupid, ma'am. Listen to her response, though.
Do you really think that criminals are going to hear this message and not carry a gun in Albuquerque on the streets for 30 days?
No. But here's what I do think. It's a pretty resounding message.
What is the message that you're sending? For the next 30 days, you're sending a message of criminals. There is going to be no one armed, if they obey this, to stop you from doing anything other than the very low-funded police and low-staffed police. That's the message that you're sending, idiot.